Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello and welcome back to Business Today viewers. Today's show we have something slightly different. Today we want to talk about an entrepreneur who's very successful, and we actually want to find out how he started and where he is now. He's actually launching some new products and new range of stuff, and is going into different ventures. And all we want to cover is his success, how he started and where he is now. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce my guest to you, Mr. Jad Chaudhry.
Thank you. Thanks
Welcome
for inviting
to
me
the
to the
show.
show. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Thanks.
Mr. Chaudhry, would you mind just giving us a little brief about yourself?
Sure.
And then we're going to go into the nitty-gritty of how you started and where you began and about all these lovely awards you've been winning recently as well.
Absolutely. So I'm the CEO of the Innovate Group and Naga King. I'm a 32 years old from Leeds. I'm a Yorkshire lad, 100% a Yorkshire lad.
Okay.
So I've been in business since the age of 14.
13?
13
Wow,
and 14,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Chaudhry, when you started at the age of 13, can you tell us a bit more what really got
Sure.
you
Well,
into the business world?
one of the things was I wanted to stand out, and I was young, I was in high school, and I saw an opportunity, and it was a time where the format of CDs have just come out.
Okay.
The transition from cassettes to CDs. And I started selling CDs, music CDs, to students.
Okay.
And it was a journey from there when I realized, do you know what, there's the demand and supply, and that's when I recognized my journey is going to start from today as a businessman, because I recognize demand.
Okay, that is very important, isn't it? in the business
Absolutely,
world?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then onwards, I mean, what did you do to get on to the next step, Nicola? Did you get any family support? What?
Well, one of the things was education and knowledge is big for me. And it's a big for everyone. And I recommend every youngsters out there get as much knowledge as you can. I completed my GCSEs, went to do my A-levels, went to university, did multimedia technology. I was more into whole creativity, and I'm wanting to absorb as much knowledge as I can.
Okay.
After university, I got a job in one of the biggest banks out there, Lloyd's Banking Group.
Okay.
Starting from one of the lowest positions and worked my way up to a very senior position in Lloyd's Banking Group. And at that moment, I realized, do you know what? I want to be an entrepreneur.
Is there a reason why you finished education and went into a job? Is there a reason behind that?
Well, I wanted to have the people skills, and that's one of the things I liked. Being a student, you know, you learn all the knowledge, but you don't get the people skills. You don't see real life scenarios. And
Very
I thought,
true, yeah.
one of the key aspects is let me go into the financial side first. And I tried to go to different sectors. So I've been in different sectors. My CV has got absolutely every single sector there is in the job market. And one of the things I realized was I don't want to be stuck into one particular job.
Okay.
I don't want to be stuck into one particular job in one particular sector. I want to have knowledge of every single sector there is and every single position there could be. I always had, from the back of my mind, I always had this idea where I want to be a businessman, I want to be successful. But for me to reach that platform and that level, I need to have knowledge of different sectors, different roles, because I'm not ready there. And that's when my journey started, and I started getting into different sectors, and I worked in very high positions in the legal sector, in the logistics center, obviously the finance, and also just recently the digital marketing. My last position was working for Google.
Okay.
So, but along the journey, I made a lot of sacrifices. So
Those are the sacrifices we want to know about, because we can learn a lot from it, and I'm sure my viewers can learn a lot from the sacrifices you've made.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Please tell us a bit about the difficulties and sacrifices.
Well, business, as you know, when you enter business, it's all about risk. You have to take risk to open a business. Just recently, a couple of years back, I went through a personal issue which caused me to go into major depression. And I lost a lot of stuff, a lot of businesses. I had a few businesses very successful as well. And I lost a lot of stuff, you know, friends, even family members, people who were close by. And it was that point where I was going through a lot of difficulties, and it was personal challenges I was facing. And I had a dream which was the ultimate Naga King dream. And I had that for 4 years. Because of the personal challenges I was facing, I had to hold back and think of the bigger picture. But for me to even reach the level of Naga King, which is my latest project, I had to make sure that I had enough experience in every single sector for me to implement it into this project. Now, while I was going through difficulties through personal challenges, I was offered a role in Google.
So while you were doing this,
yeah,
you were,
I was offered a role in Google, and within a short space of time, I gained the knowledge of digital marketing. And as you know, in business, sales and marketing go hand in hand. You know, they work, and that's one of the sectors I kind of lacked in experience, which was marketing. So I absorbed all the information, got all the experience, and a lot of people are like, you know what, you got a dream job in Google. But for me, that wasn't the end of my journey. For me, the ultimate goal was Naga King. And I absorbed all the information and I resigned from my position in Google. A lot of people call me mad. They're like, what are you doing? People dream to get this position and you've just sacrificed a good job for what? And I was like, wait till you see what's coming next. And that's when I thought, Naga King, it's time for Naga King to launch.
What was this dream? I mean, Naga.
Well, but 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing a lot of research. And as you know, with business, it's all about research, it's all about development, it's all about finding out what's trending out there. About 5 years ago, I was looking into what's trending at the moment. And I've noticed wherever I go to eat, I'm a foodie myself, I love food. And I noticed wherever I go to an establishment, they have a particular signature dish, and it's always chili. The signature dish is always with chili. So I thought, okay, it's all about chili, and then obviously there's a premium attached to that dish. You know, you go to even the mainstream like KFC or wherever, they have their product, their main signature product, it's got something like with chili sauce. And I looked into the research, and this is what I was doing for the last 4 years. I've been building my research. I wanted to make sure if I'm going into this business, I'm not rushing into anything. I'm making sure that I've implemented all the strategies, all the marketing, all the processes, all the systems in place to make sure that Naga King is going to be the king when it is launching. Yeah, so I mean, that was a journey, and I also found out from marketing that the chili market is worth £14 million a year, and it's growing, and that was a recent study done by the Telegraph. And it's growing 40% year after year.
Really?
So the demand is there, and that's when I thought, you know what, this is a serious business to go into, but it's going to be my ultimate business to go into, and probably my last ever business and the project that I want to go into. Yeah, I was going through personal issues. You know, my father was a role model to me. You know, he was a businessman in the restaurant field, but due to obviously medical attention, he had to retire. He's a role model for me. You know, he was a man who always taught me it's all about sacrifice, it's all about not giving up and follow your dreams. And that's what I was doing. I never gave up. You know, people have an idea. If you have an idea, you know, don't give up. Start sketching, and that's what I've been doing.
Exactly. I mean, I can see here, you know, you've done 4 years of research on this.
Yeah, 4 years of research.
And some of the stuff you said, I just want to highlight those few points before we go into the break. I mean, viewers, Jad has just mentioned some really key points. You know, it's about sales and marketing. You know, they work hands in hand in business. You know, these are key points. And he's mentioned about research and development, you know, and the passion for the business. You know, his passion was food. He loves food, and that's the way he looked at his business venture. He wants to go through that route, you know, and you know, we're going to come on and we'll speak a bit more. But for now, stay tuned. We're just going to a break. See you after the break.